Today we're covering EPCs, buy-to-let, freehold and leasehold, conveyancing and deeds. Thanks for joining us again. Apologies on our last video, we got cut short by someone visiting. We always love visitors though, so I really don't mind. But we've got some more jargon to discuss today, so let's jump straight back into it.
So we're going to discuss energy performance certificate. Kirsty, do you want to tell them a bit about EPCs?
Yeah, a qualified energy assessor would have to come and do an assessment. These assessments last for 10 years. So energy performance certificate is your EPC. It gives you a rating from A to G. Obviously the higher the rating is A, that's top, and it's highlighted in green on the graph. And it just means it's more energy efficient. So they're looking at like low energy lighting, insulation, how good the doors and windows are, boiler, like heating, retention and all that sort of stuff. So that's what an EPC is, and you've got to have one by law for either sales or lettings.
Yeah.
So as of now, properties have got to be an E for rental purposes.
Yeah. Next one we've got on our agenda is buy to let. So it's what it says it is really. You buy a property to let. There's different yields that landlords like to achieve on a buy-to-let. It's usually around 8%, depending on the property type. But if you need us to elaborate on that, or you need further information, get in contact and we can sort of guide you through how to achieve a really cracking yield. And we can also help you, get the right property, where we would need to be in terms of compliance and various different things.
The next question that we get asked on our list: conveyancing, conveyancer. What's the difference between a conveyancer and a solicitor really? So some solicitors are qualified in more matters. So when you qualify as a solicitor, you can qualify, it's normally like 3 different subject matters, and so conveyancing can be one of those. But a conveyancer is just qualified in the property aspect of law, and it's a slightly different qualification, but they are just qualified in doing property law and registering everything legal wise. But those are the kind of differences really. So the next one is probably one of the most popular questions actually, is what's the difference between freehold and leasehold? So basically freehold is you're buying the whole property including the land it sits on, so you get a title deed and it shows you the plot and the whole land and boundaries that it's contained in. Leasehold is where you might be buying the property but you don't buy the land that it actually sits on, you lease that land. And the key things there are to sort of have a look at that lease, check how many years are left on it, so how many years you've got with that land, what the annual service charges might be if there are any, what any ground rent might be if there are any. And
restrictions as well.
Yeah, there's different restrictions that come with that lease, maybe stuff that you can't do. So I wouldn't say be afraid of leasehold, don't shy away from leasehold.
Explore it.
But just look into it, make sure that the terms are all there. Sometimes it can be an advantage. And certainly I think there's lots more regulations currently in the background coming into place that are going to be protecting legal more, so that it's got to be renewed, it can be purchased. So we'll keep an eye on that. And
yeah, just to add to that as well, if you are purchasing a property that's got less than 95 years on a lease, then you're probably going to struggle getting a mortgage on that property, which is a really, really important part to look at. So just please bear that in mind.
Get some lenders who might come a little bit less, maybe, I've seen some 75, something like that, but certainly nothing below that.
Yeah, and ask the question to the agent. The vendor might be open to applying for a lease extension. The vendor has paid for the lease to be extended, which has then allowed the mortgage to go ahead as normal, and the purchase to complete. So really important.
Yeah. The last jargon word on our list today is deeds.
Property deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it basically just tells you information about the property and who owns the property.
In the olden days,
you used to have a big pack.
You had a big pack and it was lovely scroll written, and I love to see old deeds actually.
Yeah.
Sort of in old English and things like that. But it's got the plans showing you the plot, what we call easements and covenants or restrictions, and what rights people have got to, maybe if it's a shared pathway or which wall is yours, all the different things regarding that property and what different things that you can and can't do. But nowadays, since sort of the 1990s, everything is registered with Land Registry digitally. So you find the old packs are less and less because it's all been scanned in with Land Registry. So I suppose that's deviating a little bit, but if anything's unregistered, it means it's still that old pack and they've not got it digitally with Land Registry. So any transaction since the 90s, they would have automatically done that, and everything is just on there, so you physically don't need to have that little pack. But they keep everything in it, from all the transactions, from all the old sellers, so that everything, any amendments, any extensions and all stuff like that is all kept in one full pack of the property.
Yeah, particularly if you've owned a property for a number of years, it might be that it's not digitally registered. That is crucial that you have your actual deeds. A solicitor might still have the deeds for the property, because to get a property registered with no deeds is a completely different ball game. So if you are looking to sell and you've owned the property for a very long time, you might need to dig those deeds out and find out where they are first, as a first point of contact, really.
Sometimes a bank or a solicitor, you know, if you've a will with a solicitor, the solicitor can hold them in there.
Deeds. And if you've still got a mortgage on the property as well, sometimes the deeds are still sat with a solicitor.
I had a lady recently who were dealing with the property on behalf of someone who passed away, and she had no idea where the deeds were. It was unregistered. Like, the family had lived there since like the 60s, and she had no idea where the deeds were. Don't worry if that's you, if you're thinking, oh my god, I don't know where the deeds are, because a solicitor or a conveyancer can rebuild the title. It's a little bit arduous for them, and they'll not love us for sending that over, but they will do it. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, do some digging and find those deeds if it's unregistered.
Yeah. So I think that's all for our jargon session. If you have got any other jargon terminology that you're not quite sure about, drop us a message. We'll be happy to help you and guide you. But other than that, we'll see you on the next session.
Absolutely.
So
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.